but who didn't?
Ooh, we got Samoa as the first map, and I feel like Samoa's become such a wild card map right now because there's just teams are going to be less practice on it no matter what, right? Because the map is brand new. So they probably have good practice on it, but like it's still such a new map that the way it plays now might play it different in a year. Right? You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. Both these teams are really, really good. Just to give everybody an idea, like USA and Saudi Arabia are very, very good teams. Both of them are very good.
Now they've learned that lesson. They're going to try.
They're going to go May. Mirror comp. Straight up mirror comps. Here we go. This is going to be interesting.
So no worries there.
Here we go.
Haku is in the lineup for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, so that means that they are going to play the Lucio. When Labda is in, they're going to play the double flex support. When Haku is in so far, that means the Lucio. And both teams now rolling out as we are in downtown on the same compositions. Bastion, May. It's all around positioning and using your cooldowns effectively. Your Sigma needs to be getting a lot of poke damage, but cannot get walled and taken down by the Bastion. Great rock by Kalush to start things off.
I've seen this on this map. Some teams like to go to the point, and some teams like to go to the position and like away from the point. It looks like they're doing a split play. It looks like a split play right now. It is. Yep. So they didn't quite show it on the caster, but Saudi Arabia actually ended up making a really good play there. They started to split around the middle, right? Like they went around the middle and made a really good play on that one. Like it was like they like split there. They like split. That was a really good play. Oh wow, this is just a one-team fight because of the window. Smart play, very smart play.
Yeah, it was a great surprise play too from KSA. They looked like they were giving up space, trying to bait USA into a lane that the Ant Matrix they could have used in a more safe manner, but then they speed with Haku, jump around immediate Ant Matrix.
They're playing this very close.
They don't do well with surprises.
Yeah,
they're gonna wall maybe.
They're not playing scared at all, and when you have a player like Surmaj Ed who has a lot of
Christy, thanks for the 2 months. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice to be watching.
Support nerfs are not live in this right now.
Has been caught off. He is going to.
Do USA have an ult yet? No, they don't. They're gonna May ult. That's why the May's hiding here. There it is.
Catch USA unaware, and it looks like he has.
Yeah, the blizzard hits Kalush.
It's gonna be enough to win that. That window was actually. I think that window was trying to like really make a play happen off of that. Yeah, this has been a really good performance so far by Saudi Arabia. They've been like, they distracted them with a play, and then the May hid, so that way they were gonna overuse their eat as they went aggressive, and then they May ulted from behind. It was a great play.
Aggressive Blizzard, and now
a great play.
Look at the USA players walking out of spawn. They're all looking every single direction, afraid that Kingdom of Saudi Arabia could be hiding in any of these.
So now USA is kind of going to that part of the map I've been talking about.
And win so early in this series. Early flux coming out of KSA puts Kalush in the air.
And the May wall to
I was just gonna say that combo.
It's only one for Quartz though.
USA has to commit their ults now. They won't be able to get back in time. They got to the limits. It's a good limb. It's just like they have to back up like ASAP. Now that they got the limb, it's just this has been a tough first round.
Don't have enough gas in the tank to really keep trucking at this point as KSA are seconds away from taking a flawless round 1.
And that was dominant. USA didn't get to play their game.
And you know how I've talked about like the idea of being really proactive and being aggressive with your play and not giving teammates the opportunity, like the other team opportunity to make a play? That's exactly what we just saw there. At every moment, there was always an ultimate happening and aggression happening. There was no like sitting back and waiting for something to happen. It was, we're going to make a play. This is the strat. Go and make the play. That's what I talk about a lot of time, about being proactive. That's what you want to do.
KSA get to defend, but they're not really
That's where you want to be proactive.
They're always attacking, jumping around corners, throwing down ults and cycling.
So you've never heard about proactive ult?
Haven't taken a fight on their turn.
Well, I'm sure people who watch the spectating videos absolutely love it.
This could be a completely different scenario. Who wins that first fight, so important.
Here we go.
They may be utilizing a Symmetra. I don't know if this sticks. Is this just to get an early position? Does Hydron stay on it? Goes back to the Sojourn.
There is going to be a switch here, though. Hydron going over to the Sojourn is a change for USA. Maybe thinking that this means that they don't have to take the head-on fight, because Sojourn doesn't do anywhere near...
Sojourn is where you're going to see an off angle here from Hydron. Or Hydron. I think it's going to be on the... Yeah, you can see the shots happening towards the coast. I think it's more about an off angle play now. I think they scouted this play. They did. You can see the May trying to sneak up on him, and it still didn't matter. They scouted that, too. Oh, they're going to keep aggressing. And USA actually turns that.
And then when Kaluj discovered them with the hit markers, as he pointed out, they were still able to get a great isolation.
So what's happening now in this team comp, which is going to be a little bit different, is USA's strategy now is to take an off angle and do damage as they aggress. So constantly pop shots from the side. And if that ends up being enough damage, then they can win a team fight. But basically, Kaluj is going to be kind of left there and has to try to just survive those type of situations.
That's what USA did much better in this round. They absorbed the aggression from KSA. They expect it to come, keep Kaluj alive, and then they're able to rebound back with even more damage and find the picks.
That's why it's a difference of strategy. They're basically not mirroring now.
All right, USA.
Because Saudi Arabia wants to play aggressive, and they've been playing it really well so far. Like, very aggressive. Going to the point here is interesting. They're going to take point.
Someone going to contest? No, KSA.
It's not even worth contesting, to be honest with you, because, like,
winning the long battle at the end. And with the
I was just going to say, because, like, if you contest that, then you kind of split your team, and that's what they're hoping to do. So you give them that 10, 12, 15%. Exactly. Costa said it perfectly. As long as you win the team fight, it is a good play.
50%. And there are players on the USA squad who potentially could have touched. You could have had OG go there. Sugar Free on the May could potentially give a lot of time.
Yeah, but then you might trade off, and then you don't win.
From USA, they are playing more safe, but they cannot be giving away the cap so early.
Yeah, you don't want to give it up too much, but like I still think it was a good start to that. USA is going to probably lead in with May ult here, although I will say Saudi Arabia has.
Because you can see USA playing very far back.
Are they gonna? I'm trying to see what happens here. That happened. That was what I call an aggressive Sigma play.
I want to go for it. I want to toss it.
Here we go. Now we're seeing the ults from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, flight simulator there. Good damage, though.
Dash is getting low. Oh, damn.
Hydron unleashing 2 from the low side where KSA don't know. See, that's like USA.
I do not doubt it if USA tries to play aggressive here with Mayo.
You can see this is now all of a sudden it's KSA who are the team that's like, we don't know how to play the way we wanted. We want to get aggressive. Now UB switching over to the
I think KSA is gonna.
That will allow them to.
I think they're going to.
They can teleport across the way and get on the USA.
TP in.
Effectively, but they might be teleporting into a blizzard from Sugar Free.
Yeah, UB is looking around to make sure he.
Oh, see it in chat. I'm telling you.
Okay, both fluxes have sucked so far, but what matters?
It happens. It gets stuck on something. You see what I mean? I tell chat all the time. I wish it didn't get stuck on objects like that.
KSA have done more than enough to.
It gets stuck on something.
Push USA back to their beaches.
Yeah, and oh my god, USA going to commit. They drop the sound barrier from OG. As soon as KSA gets a little aggressive, they trade UB out. But KSA should be able to disengage from this one. But that was both sound barriers traded, and now USA should
double window here.
Oh, Sugar Free's like,
I think they disengaged it. I think that disengage by KSA was really good, by the way. Because like that was a May ult. They managed to all fall off of like the high ground. It looks like USA still going to be able to take this fight. Really good play, but like that was impressive. This has been some good Overwatch again. I think we're going to the third round, and this third round's very interesting. So a good example of this is going to be basically
overtime because the flip happened at 97%. But I don't think anyone's gonna get there. Quartz gets there and deleted.
It's gonna be like
for that one as well. Haku next, but this is
it's very similar to Control Center.
The inevitable of USA evening it up.
It's very much like
that was just much better play.
I want to see the strategy here. Are both teams going to go to the side? So what I'm starting to see now on the third map, I forgot what it's called, but like they're going to go either in the middle, and there's like a little circle area there, or they're going to go to the point. Some teams go to the middle, some teams go to the point. Okay, you see that thing spinning? A lot of teams are starting to take that control. So I wonder if they'll go there together, or if one team will go to the point while the other team goes there. I think it's starting to turn into how Control Center plays, where you don't go to the point at all.
And then take back. They really manipulated that last round very well. We go to our deciding round to see who goes to match point. And most of our devs predicted this to go all the way to game 3. We'll see if that will be the case. It's the Bastion there of Quartz with Hydron. See if it'll be the Bastion or the Sojourn. Once again, the Sojourn.
And Hydron did find some pretty good value with the Sojourn. Playing on the off angle, actually at one point was able to take Surmaged coming.
See what I mean about the difference in strategies? Now, the reason why USA isn't going there is because they're not running the Bastion comp. I think if they run the Bastion comp, they engage there. Instead, they want to take the distance, and that's the difference right now in the team fights.
Kaluj is able to get so much ult charge just playing.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of ult charge there. Both strategies here by the teams are good. It's a good strategy both ways on that one. I think USA is going to have to give up the point initially.
Through the crack, but still gives up the
good Maywall.
Now it's the responding Maywall from Sugar-Free.
But this Bastion can make it difficult.
But the Bastion of Quartz breaks through, trying to break some heads of USA.
Like how there hasn't been in the limb yet on either team.
Head for the hills. No one is still diving.
USA, if USA, I don't know who's gonna win this. Both the Mays traded out. But for like KSA, the thing is they have
stabilized.
You see Hydron
they have the point this whole time. So if nothing happens, it's going to be an advantage for them to begin with.
This potentially could force the flip, but we might see.
I don't think they're going to force the flip yet. Ooh, that was a good pick for USA.
But maybe has to just dodge the artillery strike. Now
I think USA is. Oh, actually no, they're committed to this.
But the sound barrier is what sustains KSA. Now USA using their second. The overclock.
I'm gonna be real with y'all, chat. I think USA had to over-ulted that a little bit. I think they over-ulted that just by a little bit. Like they had to make sure they won it, but like I think they over-ulted it a little bit. But they do have Mail coming up, and they're a little bit ahead on window. But I think KSA is gonna be able to lead in with a Sigma ultimate right now, and then they're gonna be able to use their Mail. So it's like we'll see.
Plus the gravitic flux from KSA.
They have to find the right timing on this, though, because there's not as much follow-up. There it is. It's a good ult. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. They get the point. This is interesting. The strategy on this point is so unique. Like it's really cool to see, because, like, some Koth maps you don't flip the point as much, but you're seeing that happen a lot in these, where both teams are willing to flip the point. It's really cool.
But Hydron still found enough heads to give Team USA the fight win.
Yep.
Yeah, smart by USA. They sort of baited KSA in a little bit, and Sugar-Free perfectly timed Blizzard. So even though they did have the ultimate disadvantage, they were able to eventually win the team fight.
USA is going to lead with a window right now. They probably should lead with the window, because KSA has the Mail, and that Mail could be a huge, like...
How are they going to manipulate the USA?
That could be a huge play for them if they use that right now. Okay, and then they window first. Okay, this is going to be tough. And they got eat out, so like if for some reason like Saudi Arabia isn't able to win this team fight, they have the Mail now because the eat's out. They don't have to worry about it getting eaten. As I say that, they get the May though, and the May did out though.
Huh. Last too long. Here's the artillery strike from Quartz up against the wall. Sugar-Free is found.
Yeah, USA has to disengage.
Fight win exchange from both sides. KSA with the point again.
And because KSA keeps getting those flips early, now all of a sudden they haven't had the point for very long or won that many team fights, but they are one team fight away from closing this one.
Because they keep flipping the point.
He tried to pop and it instantly got
it's a great strat. This is they recognizing that with the outpool they won't be able to win this team fight if they wait, so they're aggressing in with beat. But USA was able to counter with their ultimates, which should give them this team fight, and then it's going to come down to one last team fight to win this map. Unless, wait a second. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're gonna win this. This team fight. It's coming out of one team fight.
Should be smooth sailing for USA.
Ah, okay. So I think USA is gonna have to play very, very, very aggressive right now with window. Because this is gonna be an even matchup, but they have a May advantage. USA needs to play this aggressive. They won't be able to disengage all their ultimates at once. I could be wrong, and they have a great disengage strategy, but yeah, there we go. They have to do this. They have to do this because like they can't survive the initial burst of stuff. So that what they need to do now is, yep. And now they're gonna get a May out middle of this team fight as well as a Sigma ultimate. So like in theory. Oh, this is going to be tough because they're going to lead in now with the ult. They did force out Ice Block early.
Here to back up UB. Krisha not going to be hitting him and focuses there on the supports.
Mail and 2%. It's going to come down to this Mail. If it's a good Mail, they've Lucio touch. Hydra has the flank.
Somehow USA are still touching. Kalush falls though while trying to frontline, and it's up to Hydron to be the American hero that his team needs. And KSA
this is such a close team fight.
But you can't say the same about the rest of KSA. But this Bastion is so
Sugar-Free was at 98%. Oh my!
That is what helps KSA thrive, and they take
what a first map! Both those teams played that so well.
They needed
That was unbelievable. I told you both these teams were unreal.
Hydron with the late. It kind of makes sense why we see Team USA go over to Blizzard World then, because it is a map which has wide open spaces, a lot of different flank angles that your Alari is going to be able to take position. Hydron will take position with Ultraviolet, and then USA will be able to encapsulate KSA. But on the other hand, KSA, they are no slouches when it comes to mechanical players. Surmajet on the Alari was someone that everybody feared in the Overwatch League. Quartz has been a world-class hit scan and has even been a prospect for the Overwatch League in the past. So it's not like USA is just going to be able to walk into this map and just out-mechanic KSA. They're going to need to be able to play the strategical game, and their players are going to need to step up more than they did on Samar.
And the importance of those off angles are going to come true.
Here we go, chat.
First point. It's so open. You can take so many different positions, and that's why you're not going to see Mei here. Sugar Free is going to be on the Echo, playing on the opposite side as Hydron, so you have multiple points of.
So we are seeing Bapayari versus Bapayari. So the Bapayari comp is like a very, very strong comp. Both teams have really, really good players for this. So I'm really curious to see what's happening.
It doesn't make sense with the way the rest of the compositions are playing. So
here we go.
It makes me think that there is a plan here from KSA that potentially they're trying to take position away from USA by utilizing the teleporter.
Even just a threat before
you really early pick. So actually, so it's not necessarily a mirror comp here. What we're seeing is we're seeing the Echo. I wouldn't doubt it if we see an Echo swap on both teams, but basically the Echo is really good at preventing a TP play, but the TP play is really good at like creating that map control. So what we're seeing right now is a variety of different. What we're seeing right now is a variety of different, like, how a team is going to play, right? KSA is going to use like a very aggressive TP play, and USA is going to try to counter that with like the Echo stickies and playing off angles. So we'll see how it goes. Both strategies are really strong. It's just going to be about like what team can play it better at that point, right?
And so it's not an easy spot to teleport to. I mean, USA might just be too far away, and the poke still too strong. Like, I'm getting deja vu from how New Queen Street went. It was just so controlled by Hydron and Ultraviolet.
That's a left click there from Ultraviolet into a rail from Hydron, and Quartz just disappears, and all of a sudden USA starting to feel themselves feeling much more comfortable on this composition.
All right, KSA, almost half the time bank gone. How can they just be more aggressive? It just seems like USA are out of
USA is going to be aggressive with their Ayari ultimate right now. There's one more team fight here where USA in theory should win, and then after that, Saudi Arabia is going to have a lot of ults. But there's also just the opportunity of an early pick happening on either team here, which could lead to either team just popping off.
Where is your focus going to lay? KSA are actually taking positions on the top right to go on.
And then see, the thing is like every time that USA gets that pick, it's less ults they have to use. And actually, I'm very surprised to see like the ult usage here from both teams. Because I felt like after the first pick, they could have probably just played aggressive with the Echo and then made the play. So like, I think both teams. It's just interesting that both teams had used their Ayari ultimate there, because I feel like it wasn't going to be needed at that point. Okay, so this is where USA is at right now. They have a good ult advantage, but KSA is building up their ults too. So I think the wall is going to be the most important part of this, in my opinion.
KSA needs to start finding some value.
KSA now have some ults. Again, Matrix, can you draw USA into your own trap, into this area where this can be useful? But KSA are going to try that flank that they wanted to do last time, except maybe without getting bodied. So KSA now hidden. USA don't know where this is. Hydron.
It's a good wall. It's a good wall.
Manages to escape to that high ground. Photon barrier and Matrix. Is there any targets in sight?
Oh, what a play by Sugar Free.
Show them how it's done. With the
that was just a great play by Sugar Free, because like
and they're really stuck. At least they managed to get a tick out of it.
So what they're doing now is they're staggering the BAP. That's why the BAP is just going off the map.
Going to get staggered. That little bit of extra time moves this into final.
It is final fight.
Territory for KSA.
KSA has Sojourn ultimate, Sigma ultimate. USA has Window and Sojourn ult. Okay, Hydron and RuPaul are gonna probably gonna go to the same spot and window the Sojourn.
He's been so scary so far in this.
Like, they're just waiting to see what the engagement's at so that they don't get double ulted. Oh, they didn't even do that. I'm surprised. I thought they were gonna window that. But Ultraviolet does have an ult too. I didn't even see that. Ooh, this is.
Maybe by the flux, KSA has to go big here, but losing Surmajed on the run is not.
They do have the Mei now, the window, high ground, and then actually Ultraviolet ends up losing the 1v1 there. Not a 1v1, but like the play. And I think KSA will be able to take this. They do, last second, but you know what? First point is difficult to take.
But in overtime.
I'm surprised they didn't go for like the window play there, but I think the reason behind not going for the window soldier is because they know that KSA has that Sigma ultimate at that point. So if you stack there, you're going to lose the value of that. So you're trying to kind of bait out the ultimate, but then KSA did a really good job of not using the ultimate, which made that play not work the way it was supposed to, or predicted to go. You know what I'm saying?
Ultraviolet and Sugar Free playing on the left. They're going to try and set up a semicircle around KSA, just making threats, continue to find the picks that they found on the first point.
And this is a comfort pick for UB.
Yeah, USA is a bit not in an ult advantage right now, to say the least. They need to build ults and not lose a team fight really early on, which might happen here in a second. Nope.
Just not able to, well, evict
what happens if there's a draw? It just goes to another map. So the way it works is, say there was to happen to be a draw, the reason why they call it first to 2 and not best of 3 is because of that.
How good USA are at hiding
is because of that. So what I mean by that
is just so good. So many different
is like if they tie, then they just go to another map, and it's the first time the team wins twice.
Just world class at those picks.
Sugar Free's playing really well right
now.
now.
The issue that KSA had, it took them so long to get into that small room, get into position, but as soon as they get there, there's just so many threats all over the place. And Sugar Free with a great duplicate.
Here we go.
He was in trouble, but because of that duplicate, gets an extra.
I think we're going to see a Yari ultimate again. The way Ultraviolet's been playing very aggressive. I would not doubt it to see Ultraviolet go into a really fast ultimate. Oh, that's a huge pick by Quartz right there.
Freeze him down, but Quartz gets a great pick on a RuPaul. That's an early pick.
And the pylon, which is actually a pretty big pick at that too.
Has been positioning away from KSA. You needed your range DPS to pop off. This is Quartz's moment. This is his gear against Kalush. Needs a few more shots, and even at a distance.
This was a really good point by Saudi Arabia because like they had an ult advantage, but it's also like initially, but it's also really easy to like give up that ult advantage right away. They were patient. They took their time getting the map control they wanted, and then won the team fight.
Working out well, but it cost.
All right, here we go. It's on pause chat.
Yeah, and an underrated thing about playing Mei in these kind of like shooter comps where people are trying to set multiple flanks is you can actually drop a Mei wall in front of the flank or just to help your team maneuver around, and there's nothing that Team USA can do. So if they use those walls effectively to just close the distance and give their team advantage,
USA has an ult advantage now.
All of a sudden the Mei doesn't need to just be finding the picks.
Oh, look at the flank. So I think Kalush spotted it. They were going on a flank behind. Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was spotted. That was gonna be a really smart play. Yeah, okay, so that right there, it was gonna be that was a really smart choice to go for that flank. But it was spotted. Last possible second.
And you see KSA trying to escape, not able to even get some trades to maybe slow USA down a little bit. A full team wipe, which is great for USA to get some ult charge off of too.
Yeah, USA snuffed out that flank from Surmajed, sees them in the room.
Here we go, Chow. See what happens.
If they commit and just bring more members, then they're going to be able to win the fight. So now 50 seconds remaining. You said it, Lemon. This is getting very close to last fight territory. There are a lot of ultimates coming up for KSA.
Oh, Yubi. Oh, and Kalush tried to use the grasp, couldn't eat it in time. Kalush is in trouble. Takes a while.
I'm surprised by that one right there.
There's Ultraviolet with the captive sun, forces out the MO, but no kills coming out of that play. I like the creativity out of RuPaul Ultraviolet.
25 seconds right now. See, I like the idea and the strategy behind.
On a roll.
And those were both supporter ultimates from Team USA. They used the amplification matrix and the captive sun to no value, and that's going to force.
It's going to come down to Sugar Free's ultimate right now. Actually, I honestly, Saudi Arabia has such a ult advantage right now.
Let's get walled off though, so he's already in the backline.
Kalush now, that anchor on the Orisa, the captive sun just for him.
So the reason why Kalush went Orisa here is just for survivability. It's understanding the ult charge. Oh, Sugar Free went DPS here.
Sugar Free on the back.
Okay, I wasn't sure what role that Sugar Free was going to go there, so Sugar Free went DPS.
Front line, take down everyone around KSA, and they will deny the full cap.
Very intelligent swap from Kaluj. Recognizes there might be a flux. They could flux them off the point and just capture the
That was
point.
good because I think if it went DPS there, it might not have been as close. I mean, as close. So I mean, if it went support and just DPS the whole team. Sugar Free's playing really well, and Saudi Arabia's also playing really well. This is such a good matchup.
Considering how the first point went.
Yeah, considering how first point went, this is a really, really good matchup.
Struggling at times, just
this is really good.
Individual brilliance from the KSA players.
The fact that KSA almost got full health. I'm giving them more credit. I think it's fantastic they almost got to the end of C.
Second chat.
With the limited time that they had, with how much of a slow burn it was just to take the high ground without having that Symmetra. It was tough to rotate there against how prominent the USA hit scans were on that right side.
All right, we're good.
KSA finally had Quartz make that huge play, had an overclock, had USA really.
Still, this has been a great series.
Were able to build momentum, which is what was so difficult for them in the first place.
Looks like we're going to see similar compositions now as we switch sides, and I'm interested to see how this is going to work for USA.
Okay, here we go.
In general, it's a lot easier to play the defensive side because you have the positioning, the opposition has to come into your sight lines. But already just looking, it feels like KSA is going to play a lot further back and a lot more defensive than we saw from Team USA, who are trying to play these aggressive forward angles.
Yeah, KSA are taking a page out of that USA strat book. Man, that was so annoying how far they were and how unreachable they were.
All right, so what do we see? Any difference here in comp? I mean, we're not seeing the sim from the get-go. Obviously, the May swap happened later on, but we're not seeing we're seeing double Sojourn, the Echo. I mean, I think it's going to come down to a little bit of an interesting difference of strategy here. Is it looks like USA went for like this high ground control right away. Actually, are they flipping the map too? Just like, yeah, they're kind of just taking different angles.
Doing a good job of marking.
Do they recognize that Kaluj is flanking right now yet?
Of this pillar. KSA are waiting for USA to make a move.
I don't think so. Okay, they do. They do. I was gonna say.
Give the space to USA. They've been pushed all the
oh, but that's a huge pick by Quartz. But then a trade by Kaluj.
But Kaluj matches back.
No healing pylon. This is a timing for USA.
You have to play around pylon, or maybe your BAP shift. It's not as easy as maybe a Brig or a Mercy.
That was a really good opening strat by USA. They took 3 different angles. They do have to watch out though, because I think Quartz will be coming back from spawn in a second, so they have a time in here. That's why they're pushing in.
And USA, despite
oh, what a wow!
Are pulling through in this fight.
And I believe
yeah, that strategy setup. That's what I was saying. Like, you kind of saw.
Kaluj was able to get all the way onto the high ground of where the card is right
exactly. Kaluj was flanking, and they didn't really react to it as much right away. And it's like, how do you react to that, right? You have to trade, and you're like, well, why don't you trade in there? Well, the thing is that because they're taking multiple off angles, you can't really take that fight because then you're getting off angled from here. So it's like. The best way to do that is probably just try to find a way to rotate and push one of like the. Basically, what you do is you look for like who's out of position or like where can you trade a kill, and they tried that, but then when Kaluj got the trade onto Quartz, that's where it made it a little bit better of a position for him. So, yeah.
USA getting away with.
So Saudi Arabia did a good job of getting the first pick, but then because there was an immediate trade, then that position in USA had made it a lot more difficult. You know what I'm saying? So.
USA are putting good trickle damage in, but eventually getting picked off.
And Saudi Arabia did a good job of holding the point here, like holding the high ground. That is.
You can see USA, they have to pick their heads. They have to try and take that position.
Sigma's just a good hero to survive against a lot of stuff that happens in Overwatch.
Doing a great job of just sort of recognizing the targets and picking them off, and they've been working together. Quartz has gotten a couple of picks. Surmajet, UB on that one. So USA, all of a sudden, ultimates coming up, so they will be able to sort of utilize those ultimates to sort of deal with the threats coming from all different angles. Surmajet set up amplification.
Ooh, nice shot.
And Surmajet utilized it against Kaluj.
Kaluj was just caught
that was a good shot.
Open, couldn't play the corner or that pillar on the left side where the sign is. Didn't have grasp, didn't have shield, and obviously didn't expect the burst.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chad. This is
like we point out before.
There might be a couple of minutes here, or about a minute and a half on this point where Saudi Arabia might be able to just win fights based off of their ults right now. What USA is going to do is they're going to go take that bridge control. You see where you can see like where that pylon is bottom? I think they're going to go that way. At the same time, look where Mega's set up right now.
We saw him do this on Samoa. He wants to go for a flank, find some targets, and then drop a blizzard.
So if you look at Kaluj over there, they're going for like that point side of the map. They're trying to take a little bit of control over here because going high ground hasn't been working, so they're just going to adjust their playstyle a little bit. Really, really good Mega. Hydron does get a trade. Oh, that might be that there. Oh, gets the shot though. I don't think that's going to really make a difference in the team fight right now, but if
trade onto that Baptiste.
I'm surprised by that. Q-Man, thanks for the 2 months of tier 1. Thank you, appreciate it, thank you.
Despite how far they had to go to even get close to KSA.
Yubi's just hunting Kaluj. Every time Kaluj peeks his head,
Here we
Yubi
go.
with the Blizzard is just finding him, turns around the angle, drops the Blizzard, knows Kaluj can't do anything if he doesn't eat it with the grasp. So now, more time off the clock, 2.5 minutes. Kaluj does
Sigma
have the
ult,
flux,
yeah. See how they're
do you
all
find
taking that
the
high ground
flux?
now
You
on the
don't wanna pop
side.
it too early and just have the rest
It's
of the
because,
team
like,
together.
they just... It's so hard to deal with all 3 off angles as well as a Mei hitting really good walls that you have to take away one side of the map. So what this is doing is this is taking away a side of the map. And Saudi Arabia is recognizing that and realizing that they can't give up those sides of the maps because, oh, never mind. I was going to say, because he wasn't there, they needed to get everybody across. They did get the cart a little bit further, but yeah, that's tough. Second point can be really hard if you don't control one side of the map. And right now, USA has not been able to do that.
This has been a struggle for USA.
Saudi Arabia's done a great job of holding both sides of the map. So until that one of those sides of the map is basically not an off angle for USA to have to deal with, and that they're gonna keep struggling against that until that happens. They need to get one of these.
Gets eliminated. KSA.
No, remember, chat, I said about 2 minutes.
On this second point so far.
I said about 2 minutes it was going to be like that for a bit. We're at that point now. Minute 32 minutes. Like we're at the point we were talking about. Now it's going to come down to like what happens next here in these team fights. There was too much of a slight ult advantage at the time. Okay, so there's a set play happening here. They're setting a few high ground.
I don't know if it hit. I think it hit weakened KSA a bit. They distanced themselves.
There's the trade. They have the cart going during this too.
It's up to Sugar Free on the duped Sigma to harass KSA. It's now tanks of USA trying to surround KSA, especially
Quartz does get a huge pick though on Ultraviolet. Hydran's also ulting though.
It's going insane.
Oh, but the Sugar Free gets the elim there on the ultimate. I don't know.
Along with Sugar Free, KSA are starting to lose that defense that have drained so many minutes out of USA. And
the window with the ice block in front, but the eat.
But USA's Ant Matrix is what's truly scaring this defense.
And there's just no picks.
And then the Widow swap.
USA. They had the positioning, but they just couldn't find anything. Quartz switches over to the Widow to try and find a quick pick coming back from spawn, but decides better of it. Goes back over to the Sojin, and now it's final fight for USA.
Here we go.
This is the end of the series. If KSA close out this one, USA will lose this series 2-0. They need to come up with some magic. Ultraviolet with the Captive Sun is the only ultimate they have, and they're walking into a Blizzard from Yubi.
Ultraviolet is sneaking up. Here's the Captive Sun. He wants a squishy target. The shield's in his face, so he's flying around.
That's tough.
Making sure that Sojourn doesn't get a clocked shot on him. USA can't have Sugar Free.
That's tough.
For free. It's a 4v5. USA have to pull back, and Quartz is just unleashing. The guy's insane. 2 picks in this fight. Did he just win the fight for KSA?
This is, they got good angles on him.
USA is still contesting. It's Hydron and Kaluj.
Kaluj built up a really fast ultimate, but I think it's too late to win the fight. Gotta give credit. Saudi Arabia played that really well. Played that very well. And the thing that happened there was that's why I was saying like second point can be so hard to take, and that's why it was like super impressive that KSA was able to get through second point. As when they're able to get through second point, like after that first point, it was going to be tough to get through second. Yeah, that was a good match though. Like I said, I think both these teams will end up going through groups. And that was some good Overwatch. That was some good Overwatch across the board.